This is what we all strive to do. We go and buy these young horses, and very few of them are elite.
When you're around her, you just realise you're in the presence of greatness, and history will tell you that. Sunlight was 61 kilos, born on the 9th of October in 2015. Very normal foaling. In her early days, she was very inquisitive. She was quite precocious foal, very strong forward type. Although she commanded respect, she put her ears back and let you know she was boss.
I got to the Magic Millions that year and started looking at our yearlings, and my first impressions were speed and class. And it's probably the first time my first impression was right.
Obviously you look at 1,000 horses at the sales, on the farms and on the grounds, but Sunlight really stood out. She looked like a real 2-year-old, all muscle, all strength and a great attitude. I spoke to Anthony Thompson, he probably helped me out a fair bit, and I asked him if you had to have a 2-year-old, would it be Sunlight? And he said absolutely. So she was a beautiful filly from the first time we saw her. She fitted the brief of what we were looking for that year for Aquas.
Had to have a pretty good fight to buy her. First season sire, $300,000. We had to be very strong, and of course, looking back, we're so pleased we were.
Called it 300,000 out back.
So the idea was born for her to race in an all-female ownership and try and win the Magic Millions and the ladies bonus.
She was broken in down at Angaston in South Australia and went through the McEvoy Mitchell system. Tony McEvoy's never shy to spruik a horse, and in this instance he was absolutely spot on.
Like you want to see all your yearlings, you want to see them really grow toward you, and this filly just thrived. She was always stimulated by movement and travel and something new, and it was really from day one that we felt we had a really talented filly.
When I knew we had a serious horse was just before Christmas. Tony came up to Queensland to find a place where she would be trained in the lead up to the Magic Millions. And I caught up with him in the afternoon with my wife Casey, and he'd walked 4 tracks to find the right surface that she'd be trained on. So I thought, gee, she must be good. He's putting a lot of work into this.
Secret Lady, Merrill's back over on the inside. F-Troop and still the leader. Sunlight on the outside's looming up now. It's F-Troop and Sunlight clear from outback Barbie, but Sunlight has reached the lead now from F-Troop outback Barbie. Full as a boot jumping up out of the ground, but Sunlight for the millions. Sunlight's won it brilliantly by 3 lengths.
Back about 14 months, 15 months, Barry Bowditch and I were standing in a paddock at Widden Stud, and Anthony Thompson said, I think we'll give this filly to you. She's our best Zoustar. She's going to win the Magic Millions. He was so confident, he put his wife, Katie Thompson, in the horse.
She won her next 5, including the Magic Millions and the 2 lead-ups to the Golden Slipper.
Sunlight the outside goes to it. It's Sunlight and Estajar. The fillies are ripped clear of the field. Sunlight the outside of Estajar, and Clark gets a home in the Silver Slipper. But Sunlight's clear and cements her favouritism for the Golden Slipper.
It was an incredible preparation. We all felt that she should have won the Golden Slipper that year.
But finishing 3rd in the Golden Slipper is no mean feat. From then the plans were hatched for a nice 3-year-old year. We really aimed very high in that 3-year-old season.
She won her next 2 starts. She won the Quisette and then she won the Thoroughbred Club. I said to the ownership group, look, I've always been aggressive with this filly, and I'd like to continue that and go to the Coolmore.
Certainly doesn't look out of place against the Colts here. I thought her parade was absolutely perfect.
And then Zoustar, written by Sunlight. Zoustar coming at them. Sunlight the filly at the 50, just in front. Zoustar coming at her. Sunlight the filly, she's a star.
Coolmore Stakes goes to the only filly in the race, Sunlight.
She's incredible. She's a true star. You pointed to these big contest races, and she's always there for you. It was one of the most exciting wins I think I've ever had as a trainer. To have a filly show the courage that she showed against the best around.
What she showed that day was her will to win, her determination and the genuine nature of what a race filly and mare she became.
We decided from that point then to step up again, and we went to the Newmarket at Flemington, where her form was fabulous down the straight.
Jets gates are back and racing. Santa Ana Lane, still Sunlight with 100 metres to go from Graf Brave, Smash Osborne Bulls late. It's too late, Sunlight by the Newmarket, won it by a length, photo second.
For a 3-year-old filly to win a Newmarket's quite remarkable. The last one was Alingi back in 2005, and they're the only 2 fillies that have beat the older horses and the males in the Newmarket handicap, one of our great sprint races.
I ran her again in the William Reid at Weight for Age this time. Against the older horses, and she won the William Reid. She was the only 3-year-old filly in the Southern Hemisphere that had beaten the older horses at handicap and weight for age conditions.
She's a champion filly from head to toe, Sunlight, and she's going to win it.
Took on Santa Ana Lane in the Gilgai, and she was incredible that day.
In Sunlight versus Santa Ana Lane.
She carried a 3-kilo penalty against the older horses and the males that day for being a multiple Group 1 winner. Santa Ana Lane was rated 124 in the world rankings. He was the second best sprinter along with Blue Point, behind Batash, 2 of the great sprinters from Europe. She beat Santa Ana Lane at level weights down the straight at Flemington, a remarkable performance.
Luke Curry used her number 1 asset, her speed, to put her right there.
She'd had a busy 2- and 3-year-old time, so we made the decision to retire her. Very tough day for the stable.
It's just her character, her personality. You know the way she handles herself. She's pretty special. That's what really sets her apart. That makes her that 1 in a million that she is.
Remarkably consistent filly at the highest level. She ran to a rating of 114, 113, 7 times.
As a yearling, she had the great depth and strength and the engine room and the big butt that you need for racing in Australia, for speed racing. She's still got all of that, and all it is now is bigger than it was when we bought her.
She'll be the first champion to go through the ring in Australia off the track for as long as I can remember. You see fillies like Songbird, fillies like Sunlight, they are just the rarest of rare international commodities. It's very fitting for Widden to take her back through the ring for the 2nd time after breeding her and having sold her at the Magic Millions. Is something that makes us really proud. I think it's a really great part of a wonderful story.